Hello, and welcome to the third episode of the Horizon Watch podcast series, brought to you by TATA AIG General Insurance and Dun Bradstreet. I am Vipul Oberoi, your host for the podcast series. In our previous episode, we delved into the risks and opportunities presented by technological disruptions. If you haven't watched the episode till now, I urge you to watch it ASAP and get some valuable insights. In this episode, we delve into another very critical aspect of our digital world, which is cybersecurity. Today, we have got so used to online platforms and technology that it has become integral to both our personal and professional lives. Imagine a world where there is no connectivity, no access to your emails, no access to your bank accounts, no access to your social media. Even that is very critical nowadays. Imagine the disruption it will cause both in personal level as well as to industries and societies. Therefore, cybersecurity is no longer just a business concern. In fact, it has become a fundamental necessity, which is ensuring business continuity, it is ensuring our connectivity with our loved ones, and it is ensuring the fabric of our connected world.
And to discuss this very important topic of cybersecurity, we have today with us two industry experts. Ajay Kumar brings with him over 24 years of experience in the APAC and EMEA markets with expertise across business functions such as sales, business development, marketing, and strategic alliances with a proven track record of P&L responsibility. Ajay holds a master's degree in cybersecurity from the University of West London, an MBA, and he's also certified in artificial intelligence. His distinguished career is marked by accolades such as the Best CISO Enterprise Award by AVAR Singapore in 2022, and he's also been recognized as one of the top technology marketing leaders by CMO Asia and the World Marketing Congress.
Thank you, Vipul. It's a pleasure to be part of the discussion with Dun Bradstreet and TATA AIG. And it's great to be part of those engagements, or industry-wide engagements actually, as we have been seeing, and you have been actually delivering for last couple of months. It's a pleasure to be here.
And joining us here, Mr. Najm Bilgrami, Senior Vice President for Financial Lines at TATA AIG General Insurance. He manages a team responsible for underwriting, developing new products, and strategizing the profitable growth of the company's financial lines. Before he joined the company in 2014, he worked at IFCO Tokyo General Insurance for 6 years, growing the company's marine, property, employee benefits, and liability lines. He also held executive roles at Family Health Plan Insurance TPI Limited. He pursued his postgraduate diploma in business management at the Xavier Institute of Management and Research. Welcome, Najm.
Thank you, Vipul. Thank you for having me here.
Then let us start with your assessment of how technological disruptions are impacting various sectors. In fact, Dun Bradstreet had done a study during the pandemic era in which we found that for CIOs, data security is their top priority. And since then it has been. So from a global perspective, how do you think the rapid pace of technological advancement changing the business landscape?
See, Vipul, technological disruption has a profound impact on various sectors, changing business models, consumer behaviors. And in fact, if I have to give you an example, look at the list of world 10 largest companies. You will find out of 10, 6 are technology companies. When you look at this sector, definitely technology is making a ripple effect on the entire business. Now, a very important thing which you have to identify that every coin has two sides. And similarly, when you look at technology which is bringing so much of innovation, so much of speed, so much of convenience, other side of the coin, as in cyber underwriter, when I look at that, these technologies are definitely bringing those cyber threats, those system failure issues, and many other cyber related issues. Now, another very important thing which I would like to highlight, that companies would like to invest when it comes to those technology which is bringing or increasing their production, improving their bottom lines. But when you discuss them in terms of investment on cyber security, people avoid even discussing spend on cybersecurity. That's a very common phenomena. It's just not limited to India.
That's very surprising that businesses are still not considering it as a business imperative.
Yep, it's very unique because what they feel, I think, companies still look at this as a cost center rather than looking at this as a business enabler.
That's interesting because in the survey of CXOs that we have done under the Horizon Watch study, cyber risk emerged as one of the top risks.
People, I can tell you, your research is echoing the sentiments, what we have observed coming up from various risk management agencies. In fact, most of them have very clearly identified cyber as the biggest threat, surpassing other risks like natural calamity, your political instability, war, and even the ESG concern.
Ajay, Najm has highlighted the broad impact of technology. Now, from a cybersecurity perspective, in fact, a recent report by Cybersecurity Ventures points out that cyber threats will cost the world $10.5 trillion annually by 2025. Now, that's a big number. What do you think are the major cyber threats that organizations face today and that globally CISOs need to manage?
So as you know, the cybersecurity is a constantly evolving field. It's a very dynamic field. Every day is a new day, actually, because of the digital transformation which we have been seeing. And because of this digital transformation, the businesses are exposed to new cyber-related challenges. Now, if you look at the challenges of a cyber threats today, from our experience, from a CrowdStrike perspective, there are various, threat actors which we actually cover on a regular basis, on an annual basis in our global threat report. And those are the threat vectors which are impacting enterprises, including those ransomware attacks via various, tactics and procedures which they have it. And these threat actors are adopting, like social engineering, the phishing email, etc. These are the different tactics they use. And as you know, as per the study via various, the reports, still human is the weakest link. Almost 80% of the cyber incidents are happening due to misuse of valid credentials. And that is also covered by, a CrowdStrike in one of the reports. You can see the supply chain attack in US, Europe, in Asia Pacific, and Japan. They are massive attacks. And these are happening because of definitely some sort of engagement with third-party vendors, which got impacted, and that impact the overall organization. We have been seeing financially motivated e-crime groups, and that is pretty strong, actually, the nexus, especially in Asia Pacific. We have been seeing in Southeast Asia, South Asia, these e-crime groups are financially motivated and attacking, the large enterprises or even the medium enterprises. They are nation-state actors, or we call it APTs, which are well-resourced, well-funded. They have tech, they have resources, they have support. And they are engaging in sophisticated cyber attacks. So that is, sort of a cyber landscape we look at it. Now, there are a few things which we always recommend, to CISOs. And they should consider an assume breach scenario. Assume breach scenario in the sense they should consider that they have been breached and then actually look at it, how they can approach this. They need to adopt a proactive service or proactive approach to be ready, to be proactive, to be prepared against these cyber incidents. The more you practice, the more you would get experience to defend these cyber incidents. And that's where we have been talking about actually to all these CISOs and the CIOs. One of the key priorities should be a comprehensive cybersecurity strategy that includes not just a technological defenses, because technology is technology. I mean, you can put the technology, what's best technology, but also the employee trainings, the skills or skill development and the awareness across the organization. I think these are the things probably which can mitigate or reduce the impact of the cyber incident.
That's really insightful, Ajay. Najm, Ajay has given us really good insights into cybersecurity, given his daily immersion into this field. As a cyber underwriter, what do you think, how do companies, Indian companies, approach cybersecurity? Additionally, what are the gaps you have identified during your risk evaluations?
Hey, thanks, Ajay. See, I will tell you, we were the first one to introduce cyber insurance in the Indian market in 2014. And since then, I can see there's a significant improvement in the cyber risk posture of our Indian clients. But I think that's not enough, because when you look at India, we still remain one of the three most targeted or hacked countries across the globe. The second important point which I would like to highlight, which is about the compromise on the social media platforms. We are again ranked among those top hacked countries. So when I look at this risk, there is definitely significant exposure. A very concerning trend which we have analyzed, especially when I look at the large companies, companies prioritize their compliances over genuinely securing their systems and critical assets, which is very shocking. I can tell you, like when you're talking about the gaps, and especially focusing on the large companies, I can tell you, company's central team doesn't have the visibility of all the systems to be secured. Inadequate understanding of the attack surface, overprivileged account, or improper use of PAM solutions. And the important point, not maximizing on the threat intel, or I can say they are simply ignored. When it comes to mid and small size organization, I will suggest them to train their employees about the cybersecurity, data backups, improve password protection and verification process. And remember, it's just not a one-time investment.
Ajay, Najm has pointed out various gaps that he has seen during risk evaluation. In fact, he has pointed out that organizations do not take cybersecurity that seriously. In your perspective, what do you think is the large scale impact that these cyber threats have on system failures? In fact, based on your recent experiences, what do you think organizations should prioritize, given that the threat actors have become more sophisticated in their approach?
Thanks, Vipul. And I agree with Najm actually that there are organizations who do not take cybersecurity seriously and always adopt a casual approach. And we always talk to different CISOs and CIOs that they have to be very specific. They have to be very, very focused because of the security failure or system failure issues. Any security or system failure causes massive disruption, and we have seen those disruptions. But key is how resilient you are, how soon you can recover and come back to the normal situation from your that particular disruption. Prioritization always should be based on cyber resiliency strategies. It has been told by several, the organizations, the consulting firms, the organizations like CrowdStrike. The cyber resiliency is key for any, risk which can be mitigated, or we can, come back to the normal situation if there is any disruption. It's not if, but when a cybersecurity attack will happen. Need to be always ready with contingency and BCP plan. BCP is a key. Even in the ransomware cases, look at that. When ransomware happens, they attack on the organization's backup system. So what is the BCP plan if attack happens? It's very, very important to understand. Need to have a strong and effective IR playbook or a plan. If there is no plan, you can't mitigate the risk. You can't react it. You can't respond to the cyber incident, which is massive, which is sophisticated. So need to have that plan in place immediately, so you can actually move ahead, to respond those cyber incidents. Also need to have a cyber insurance. I mean, Najm is here from Tata AIG. Definitely, I would like to mention that cyber insurance is not only for transferring the risk, but also getting support from the incident response partners like CrowdStrike, or even getting help for data privacy implications. So let's assume there is a GDPR implication. You need to get some sort of a help from expert. But cyber insurance can align their, the legal partners or external counsels or their data privacy actually experts who can advise when the security failure happens or security incident happens. I think these are the things which are very important, which every CISO and CIO look at it seriously. I always advise to have pre-negotiated, in fact, in the incident response retainers. If you have a retainer, you can engage, those vendors actually for any incident response and forensic investigations. And these are the guys actually who are expert, who have been doing this job in responding to those cyber incidents day and night. They can really help to contain and actually remediate those threat actors from the environment. I think these are the few things which the CISOs and CIOs can take care.
That's a very interesting point, Ajay, on having a culture of cybersecurity in organizations, because Najm earlier had in fact pointed out that organizations still are not taking cyber threats that seriously. And Najm, as we close this discussion, from your side,
what are the two most important points, two most important steps that organizations should take in order to navigate the threats of cybersecurity?
See, it's a choice between cost of inaction versus consequence of inaction. Cyber is a dynamic risk, and there are many layers to it, which is yet to get unfolded. In fact, last month, very unique thing which got unfolded is the system failure issue. To minimize cyber threat, organizations have to consider three main areas within the organization. That's your people, process, and technology. To answer your question, the first one I believe is the business continuity planning embedded with risk management. That's very important. When it comes to the second one, let me give you a quote which has been given by Robert Miller, who's the ex-FBI director, and I think he understands cyberspace very well. He said there are two types of companies across the globe: one who has got hacked, other who's going to get hacked. And that's why risk management comes as one of the important steps for organization, because there's no 100% when it comes to cybersecurity, and that too with a trusted partner.
Certainly, Najm, two very important steps. And Ajay, I would like to ask you also, what are the two big steps that organizations should take in order to mitigate the cybersecurity threats?
So thanks, Vipul. And I think Najm has covered, the risk management very well, because that is a key, point which every, C-level in security actually look at it very, very seriously. From my side, actually, I look at it in two ways. One is that how the management of the organization is engaged, how they are aware. So my, the first priority or two-step is always, whenever I talk to, the C-level in security, there should be a board level alignment and buy-in from a cybersecurity risk perspective. That means board needs to be aware what is the risk they are dealing with. The cybersecurity needs to be part of the board agenda. I mean, it should not be that, okay, you ask for a budget, but the cybersecurity risk and the mitigation of that risk is not part of the agenda. It needs to be part of the agenda. That defines the culture of the organization from top to bottom. If board is aligned, if management is aligned, I think we can see a lot of alignment, and we can also see a cyber culture in the organization. If CISO thinks that the message needs to be delivered by a third party, then straight away they should consider executive tabletop exercises delivered by the expert vendors. And from a the cybersecurity consulting side, we do a lot of executive and board levels tabletop exercise or crisis simulation exercises. And they can actually look at the objective if they want to give some message to board, or they want to have alignment from the board. They need to look at enterprise-wide crisis management via simulation as an objective. The moment they feel that, okay, this is the objective, which is talking about enterprise-wide crisis management, and board team is part of that, I think they would get a lot of buy-in from the top. That is one part which I wanted to mention. The second part is the preparedness. How much ready you are, how prepared you are. Apart from those technological defenses or superior technology, from skill development to having extended team from IR retainer perspective, it is very, very important. We need to be aware. The employees needs to be aware what to click, what not to click. There are a lot of phishing attacks happening right now. So they need to be aware. So that means the internal trainings are very, very important as part of the preparedness. Practice, practice, and practice. I think there's no shortcut of practice and preparedness. We always, talk about this whenever we talk to the C-level in security. I would like to quote one comment from Usain Bolt, who, that he was one of the best athletics actually in the world. He mentioned that I trained for 4 years, run for only 9 seconds, and people give up when they don't see results in 2 months. So the guy who has been making those world records, he was trained for 4 years to run only for 9 seconds. And look at that passion, look at that engagement, look at that preparedness. I think we need that sort of a mindset in cybersecurity community. They can't actually leave, any stone unturned while they are defending those cyber incidents. Avoid cyber fatigue. I mean, they need to be prepared and alert all the time. Every second counts. And that is where actually your preparedness matters a lot whenever there is a cyber incident happens.
Certainly, Ajay, well said. As the story goes, every sunrise, the lion and the deer wake up, one to ensure he has something to eat and the other to ensure he does not get eaten. To sum up, today's discussion was extremely insightful. We discussed the importance of cybersecurity and what steps organizations must take to navigate this risk landscape. Thank you, Ajay, for joining us, and thank you, Najm.
Thank you, Bipul. Thank you, Ajay, so much. In fact, it was very engaging discussion.
Thank you so much, Vipul and Najm. It was great interaction and insightful discussions today. And I'm looking forward actually to have more discussions in the future as well. Thank you very much.
And to our listeners, thank you for joining in. Don't forget to tune in to our next episode as we continue to navigate the emerging risk landscape. If you have any queries or comments, please share them with us and we'll be sure to get back to you. Until then, stay vigilant and be proactive in safeguarding your digital assets. This is Vipul Oberoi signing off for this episode of Horizon Watch podcast series.